This represents Georgia football players as motorists, as drivers. These represent Georgia public motorists, Georgia highways, roads. Georgia sophomore wide receiver Nitro Tuggle and freshman offensive lineman Marcus Easley were suspended indefinitely from all team activities on Thursday after Tuggle's arrest on charges of speeding and reckless driving. Let me know if you have heard this before. I have once or twice or 25 times. Not a rounded number. I hear it was 24 prior to this incident. Athens Clark County jail records show Tuggle was arrested early Thursday on misdemeanor charges of speeding and reckless driving. Tuggle was released after posting bond. The Athens Banner-Herald reported Easley was involved in a vehicle crash Monday night. Georgia coach Kirby Smart has said he has struggled to find ways to convince his players to avoid speeding and reckless driving. Kirby Smart has struggled to find ways to convince his players to avoid speeding and reckless driving. That is an understatement. He has failed miserably. This is the equivalent of going 0-12. He has not struggled. He's not 7-5 in this category. He is 0-12. He is a disaster. This is pathetic. Can he control his players? We talk about this all the time here at the Voice of College Football. If you're joining us for a first time, my name's Mark. This is the Voice of College Football, and this is a great stop for college football discussion, debate, and analysis every day. No, he's not struggling. He's failing miserably. And again, a college football coach in charge of 105 players cannot control all of them, cannot watch their steps. However, he is accountable. He is responsible. He has failed. A crash killed a player and a recruiting staffer in January of 2023. Shortly after the team celebrated the national championship, offensive lineman Devin Willock and recruiting staffer Chandler Lecroy were killed in the crash that occurred while Lecroy and defensive tackle Jalen Carter were racing. Running back Trevor Etienne. We could go on and on and on. We could be sitting here for 5 hours citing all the incidents over just the past couple of years. Again, the last figure I heard was 24. This could be 25 or 26 if that is the number of incidents or the number of players. In a 2-sentence statement, Georgia said there would be no further comment on the suspensions. It was in July of 2024 that Kirby Smart, addressing another one of these issues, said that there were NIL fines in place and that they were effective. They have not been effective. They may have curbed it to a certain extent, but there was no way that it could be accelerated, pardon the pun. This is unbelievable. This is the most incredible college football statistic that I can think of. There are some doozies out there, and I love being a stats nerd and finding the aberration, but this is the ultimate outlier. I don't know that there have been 25 incidents in college football over the last 2 years in the entirety of college football to this degree, to this level of severity. I know that I saw a post that was floating around Twitter, not necessarily concerning Kirby Smart in particular, but Josh Pate had interviews with college football coaches, including Kirby Smart. I sought to find that interview because I commented back to Josh Pate that he had to have asked Kirby Smart about this particular incident or just the overall lack of effectiveness in dealing with these issues. I did not get a response, and we've had Josh Pate on here. He's a great guy, appears to be capable in his job, but hopefully he asked about this. I would ask about it. Any capable journalist would ask about not necessarily this incident, because we understand the privacy and the immediacy of this particular incident that's still being investigated and so forth and followed through on. But the overall issue here is troubling. It's beyond ridiculous. It's beyond pathetic at this point. And again, I have sought to find that interview. I've been unsuccessful. I just keep finding last year's interview with Kirby Smart. So hopefully it's out there, and hopefully that topic was addressed, because it has to be addressed. It's the most important topic in the program right now. Kirby Smart, I understand he is not an expert in this field of dealing with these kind of issues. But this is one of those deals when that problem becomes your problem, and your area of non-expertise has to become an area of expertise by extension, meaning that Kirby Smart is a football coach, meaning first and foremost, he should understand and know football. And when head coaches show us, based on game management situations and other issues, that they maybe don't know the game as well as we would expect them to, then we hold them accountable for those type of answers and responses and corrections. But point number 2 is that Kirby Smart is a leader of young men. He is also a leader of leaders, meaning his coaching staff and other personnel that are in charge of these players. So he should be dealing with his particular coaching staff, not holding them necessarily accountable, because he is ultimately accountable for the behavior of the team. However, those position coaches have close relationships with those players. You know what? I would not initially know how to deal with this situation either. However, the next layer of Kirby Smart's responsibility and role as a highly paid $13 million a year. So we're not talking about just get the job done. You're you're a leader of men. You are not in an isolated position. You are not an individual contributor. There is responsibility, great responsibility with this position. That's why it's supposedly worth $13 million per year, not just for winning football games, but doing it with class, dignity, and integrity, and looking out for the best interests of your football players. And beyond that, shoot, at this point, we're ringing up a total of casualties in the state of Georgia. So first and foremost, Kirby Smart is a CEO. CEOs cannot be expert at everything. But what do? They make connections, they build contacts, they build relationships, and they surround themselves with expertise. Kirby Smart should be tapping, and should have done this 2 years ago, every available resource expert in this area. And in addition to that, the NIL fines have not been effective. They have not been affected. And at this point, Kirby Smart should be fined. Why has he not been fined? He is responsible. He should be fined, if not suspended, by the university, the SEC, or if we had a college football commissioner and a governing body, there should be a suspension there. We appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Please like, comment, and subscribe.